Hi everyone, welcome to the 2024 StaticSquidd channel updates. It's so nice to be back doing another channel update after a year. I'm uploading this on a very special day, as today, January 15th, 2024, marks the 5th anniversary of the StaticSquidd YouTube channel. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you guys for last year. It was definitely the biggest growth in subscribers, for sure. It's crazy to think about that, because like last year I started off at 334, I believe, because I was just going based on what the channel update said. And this year started off with 757. And guess what? We're only like 2 weeks into the year, and I'm already at 771. Like, yeah, that's kind of rookie numbers, but shit, dude. So I think I'm gonna get to 1,000 subscribers this year, which is really cool to think about, unless, you know, everything goes downhill, but I'm hoping it doesn't. Also, I'd like to thank you guys for the very positive reception on New Year's '94. That is really crazy to see, because that was a very weird thing that I did, where I was like, okay, how about I make a holiday special with no moral message, where it's just me dicking around, playing football games with two evil spirits. And yeah, people really loved it. People said it was a great video, and I'm like, wow. Huh. And it's like, I think right now it's sitting at like 3 out of my past 10, like number 3 out of 10 of my past 10 uploads, which is like, huh? I'm really happy with how that video turned out, especially how much I crunched on it. Like, I started it in December, when I really shouldn't have. I really shouldn't have started making that video in December, but I did. There will definitely be more uploads this year. I'm thinking of doing like 2 a month. 1 a month at minimum, but, you know, I'm gonna try to get 2 a month down. I was just like looking at last year. I went weekly, and I burned myself out on that so much. I started uploading every other month. Oopsie daisy. It wasn't really because of YouTube. It was just because I had so much stuff going on in life. But, you know, I'm going to try to balance out everything and try to get a video done every 2 months. I meant twice a month. Don't listen to what I just said. Twice a month. So yeah, just look forward to that. I might even do like weekly here or there if I'm feeling like it. Or if I'm not feeling like it, I'll do 1 video a month. But my goal this year is at minimum 1 video a month. But my real goal is 2 videos a month this year. So yeah, it'll be like generally the same amount of episodes, but I'm trying to make them better, more quality, more content, you know. Now, let's talk about branding, because over the past few months, I've basically done a soft rebrand of the channel. In November, I changed the profile picture to a screenshot of me playing Nintendo Labo. I think it's a funny screenshot. It's been my Twitter profile picture since like April. People really love it. So I decided, yeah, why not use it as the YouTube profile picture? It suits my personality way more than the old one. So that changed, and then I was like, I should go for a new banner, because the banner doesn't really fit the profile picture anymore, and I got like, kind of triggered something in my mind. I don't know what it was, but so I changed the banner to this, which fits with the profile picture. It is more simplistic. It is just like, well, not more simplistic, but it is just like a picture of my set with the green filter and the white version of the logo on top. But I think, you know, in cases like this, less is more, you know. I think this looks more visually appealing to me, personally. Did I completely get rid of the white splotches and checker background? Because, you know, Elias, we noticed that you didn't put them in New Year's '94, you naughty, naughty boy. The rumors are true. I did. I wanted to experiment how that would look in New Year's '94, having 4x3 gameplay without that very obnoxious checkered background. I was reading one of those, like, YouTuber pet peeve tweets, like, oh, what's your YouTuber pet peeve? Like, things that a YouTuber does that really kind of pisses you off. Somebody did say, like, yeah, putting a background with 4x3 gameplay, and I'm like, I don't think that's stupid, because I do that. And then I realized something. I prefer watching videos with no background. I prefer playing games with no background. Like, the only time I ever have enjoyed 4x3 gameplay having a background around it, and it would never distracted me or anything, was my own videos. So, because I don't even like watching that myself, I just got rid of it. But yeah, I just never really liked having it in the backgrounds of videos. So, I'm getting rid of them but not entirely. The white splotchy background is now going to be a green splotchy background to fit in with the banner and the profile picture, and that's going to be the new outro. The theme is still staying the same. Monopoly Game 2 staff roll theme is my fucking goat, so... But Elias, it's still in the intro! I changed that too. This is going to be the new intro on Season 3 going forward. You like it, right? I think it's pretty snazzy. It still uses Marvel vs. Capcom music, so if you really like the fact that my old intro had Marvel vs. Capcom music, you're not going to be disappointed with this new one, because it still uses Marvel vs. Capcom music. So yeah, I'm just basically doing that rebrand stuff. Thumbnails! Thumbnails have changed too. I got rid of the stripe at the bottom of the thumbnails because I just did not think it worked after making the Mario Wonder episode. It's like, I had a very specific idea with that thumbnail that I really wanted to execute, and the green line just kind of killed it, you know? I made it with the mind of making thumbnails like, and I'm gonna say it, Scott the Woz. Because I followed his conventions pretty heavily late into Season 1 and early into Season 2. And I'd say for most of Season 2, because I didn't really start trying to actually break free from those conventions until, like, the Mario Wonder video. And Jesus Christ, I love Scott, and Scott, if you're watching, I'm not even ashamed to say this, Scott's thumbnail design kinda reeks. Like, it kinda sucks. And I hate to see so many people follow his thumbnail styles, because, oh my god, people try to follow a bad thumbnail format and then fail miserably, making thumbnails look absolutely horrible. Which is why on my second channel, because I changed the branding for my second channel too, I kind of want to do like, just teaching people how to make videos and stuff. Like, I kind of want to get a sense of like, how to edit a video, how to make a good thumbnail, pretty much all of the logistics behind it. I'm not really going to show people how to write a video because that is up to you, but you know, I do want to kind of like, help people, like, oh yeah, this is how you do stuff, and you know, this, you just like experiment, put your own spin on it, but you know, this is just how you do some stuff, and that'd be cool. Also on the second channel, I want to do a drink review called Dew Hunters, and from the name, yes, it is very much focusing on Mountain Dew, but I'll do other drinks too. Like, if I see a pretty interesting beverage at a store, and I want to do a Dew review on it, I'll pretend it's a Mountain Dew, and I'll do hunt it. But generally the series is going to be about Mountain Dew, and I'm going to review every new Mountain Dew flavor as it comes out. If I can find it, that is, because there are some flavors I just cannot find in New York City. But I want to talk about a very specific video, one that has been in the works for quite some time, and that is the 4th console generation. So, I have made videos on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd console generations, and they are my 1st, 2nd, and 3rd most popular videos, respectively. The 4th console generation, I wrote it, I halfway edited it, I filmed it even, but I just did not like where it was going, so I scrapped the project. And it kind of sucked that I had to scrap it, but it was too long, it was too convoluted, and I was just like watching it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't. Basically what I was trying to do is make 2 different episodes at the same time and then edit them together. And that wasn't going to work out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split up the 4th console gen into 2 parts. The first part is a standard, normal console generation episode, which you'd usually see, what you're used to. Kinda, just without, you know, a lot of conventions that I used to follow. And the second part will be all about the fight between Sega versus Nintendo. And I think that'll be a pretty interesting episode. I already have, like, the formula that I want down. Like, it is like, oh my god, I'm so ready to do the 4th console gen now. Other than that, I don't know what else there is to say about this year. So just thank you for watching in 2023. Hope you guys enjoyed 2024. And now it is on to that Q&A with the hastily devised theme song. Q&A on the StaticSquidd channel update 2024. Anyway, let's get on to the Q&A because I said this channel update will have a Q&A because I kind of want to start doing this with channel updates. Just have an annual Q&A after the channel update. So, cool. Let's get started with Z Gamer Guy's question. Why do you and your editor hate each other so much, and when did it all start? Now, don't worry, I don't have an editor that I hire. In real life, IRL, as some of the kids may say, I edit my own videos. I do all the editing for StaticSquidd. But within StaticSquidd, there is a character called Editor who edits the Mario Paint Guide videos. That's kind of like a lore explanation for you if you haven't been caught up yet, or if you just straight up don't know the lore and you are caught up. I honestly haven't explored why they hate each other so much. I wouldn't say it's like just hate, it's just Editor finds Elias kind of annoying, so he's a bit aggressive towards Elias, which leads Elias to be a bit aggressive towards Editor. You know, it's just one of those things like attitude is contagious, it goes both ways kind of thing. Yeah, I really haven't like delved too deep into that aspect. When Finn asks, what are your top 5 or 10 favorite artists/songs? Well, thanks for giving me the option, too much options, so I'm gonna do the easiest one. 5 artists. And number 5, you got MF Doom. Yeah, there's an MF Doom poster in every StaticSquid episode, which I think is pretty cool. I've been a fan of his for quite a few years, since like early 2020, which kind of sucked because I was like, oh my god, when's the next MF Doom thing gonna come out? And then he died. Number 4 would be Jamiroquai. Number 4 would be Jamiroquai. And I found Jamiroquai in the worst way possible, and it kind of makes me question my status as a Jamiroquai enjoyer, because I started listening to Jamiroquai because of that Family Guy meme. The dancing, walking, rearranging furniture. So yeah, thanks Family Guy for introducing me to a band I really enjoy. Number 3 would be Gorillaz. They're kind of just like grandfathered in because, you know, I've been listening to Gorillaz since I was a very little kid. Demon Days just came out the same year I was born, so I haven't listened to a lot of their newer stuff, but let me tell you, I am a huge fan of everything from before their hiatus, their 6-year hiatus from 2011 to 2017. So just everything from the fall back, I am a pretty big fan of. So yeah, I like Gorillaz a lot. Number 2 is the Aquabats. The Aquabats are just a really silly band. They're just straight up goofy, great ska band too. This is going to be the music I raise my kids on because it's very kid friendly. And fun fact, the lead singer of the Aquabats, Christian Jacobs, he created Yo Gabba Gabba, which was probably my favorite show when I was a toddler. And at number 1 for top favorite artists is Jeff Rosenstock, which I'm kind of just compiling all of his projects into one because if I didn't do that, top 3 would just be Jeff Rosenstock bands. He's done his solo project, he's done Bomb the Music Industry, he's done Arrogant Sons of Bitches, he's done Kudrow, which Kudrow's like only done 17 minutes of actual recorded music, and I still love them. He's just, man, I love his lyrics, I love his songwriting, I love his instrumentals. I just love like everything about Jeff's music because I don't know, man. It just clicks with me, dude. Like I think I have listened to him more than any other artist. I don't know why. Like that his music just clicks with me for some reason. But yeah, Jeff Rosenstock would be my number 1. All Over Martin asks, we all know you're a fan of video games, but what movies and TV shows do you like and how have they influenced you? I do like a lot of movies and TV shows. I'm not personally sure like how they influence StaticSquidd because I haven't really taken a lot of influence from specifically movies and TV yet. But I will say, like as a film student, somebody who directs short films and produces them, I will say my biggest inspirations in terms of that are like Edgar Wright. I really love his style of like cinematography, editing, all that stuff. In terms of StaticSquidd, I'm not necessarily inspired by a movie or a TV show in terms of the way I present everything and the way I edit and the way I do camera work and stuff. That's all like other YouTuber series. 3 movies that I can consider my favorites are Clerks, Office Space, and Perfect Blue. There's also Stop Making Sense, but that's a concert film. It's a really good concert film. It's probably the best one out there. But yeah, it's, you know. Perfect Blue is just a masterpiece of a psychological thriller. That movie has you fucking questioning everything. The first time I watched it, I was genuinely, like, absolutely baffled at what just happened. And then the second time I watched it, I was still baffled, but not as much. I was just like walking out of the theater, because I did see it in theaters the second time. I just walked out the theater and I was like, man, I love that movie. So yeah, that's one of my favorites. Clerks is a good one because I just really like how grounded it is in terms of its like presentation and style and writing. There is like a lot of wacky shit that happens, but in the first Clerks, it's definitely more like grounded in reality. Clerks 2, I didn't like as much because it felt a little too wacky and stuff. It just, you know, a lot of people like it because it's more heartwarming and I don't know, man. I don't like Clerks 2 as much as Clerks 1. And I just straight up haven't watched Clerks 3 despite me owning it. TV shows, I'm not saying my favorite because that is going to come up in a later question. But in terms of TV shows, I like sitcoms, like not CBS sitcoms, but you know, stuff like Malcolm in the Middle, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Parks and Rec. Those are my 3 favorite sitcoms that I always point to. I also like a lot of animated shows. Recently, I have been absolutely digging Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That is already one of my favorite shows. It is so funny, so good, exactly my kind of humor. So yeah, I'd say those are some shows that I really like. Aqua Teen Hunger Force has actually been inspiring more of my like later comedy writing because I really like that. Oh, and there's also sketch comedy shows like Tim Robinson, I Think You Should Leave, and The Whitest Kids You Know. Those are also shows that have somewhat influenced my style of humor. So, yeah. Spiffy asks, what is your favorite game and why? Personally, I've always said Portal 2 is my favorite game of all time because, man, that game just is absolutely 10 out of 10 in every department. Level design, writing, music. It's all fantastic. It's like the most fantastic package I have ever played, and you can pick it up on Steam on sale for like $1. There's no reason to not get Portal 2. But not only that, it also has like a huge influence on me. It was the first game I ever saw on computer. It was the first non-Nintendo game I think I've ever played in my life. I don't think I'd be the same person if it weren't for Portal 2. Like, it's genuinely affected my life in more ways than I can think. So, yeah, that would be my favorite game. Kira asks, what is your favorite video that you've worked on thus far in your YouTubing career? I think my favorite one I've worked on so far, in terms of just like the final product and how fun it was to make, is A Christmas of Licensed Cards. That one was really good. There's also just videos that I'm personally impressed of when I rewatch them, such as like ranking every Nintendo Direct. That one was pretty good. A bitch to make, but I think the final product came out really well. I also really liked the evolution of title screens. I think that's like one of my favorite standard episodes. So yeah, those two. I'd say Christmas of Licensed Cards and the evolution of title screens are like a couple of my favorites. I can't really think of any other ones right now. And I'm honestly only saying the title screens video because that was the video I rewatched of my own most recently. So yeah. Oh yeah, the Rogue Warrior video is also funny. I like that one too. So yeah, add Rogue Warrior to the pile. She also asks, what is your favorite credit card number and what are the 3 lovely digits on the back as well as that marvelous expiration date? So it's 7285. Blastoise Veteran, a familiar name to the StaticSquid channel, asks, what is your least favorite video game genre? That is definitely MOBAs. You know, stuff like League of Legends and Dota 2. I just watch like gameplay of those games and I'm like, man, this is the most boring fucking shit I have watched in my entire life. Like, I don't understand how people get so invested in those games because I don't know, man. I can't. Those games look boring. From what I've heard, the communities of those games are not so great. I'm not sure about Dota 2. I'm pretty sure Dota 2 is a fine community. I just find that game boring. But League of Legends, man, the creepiest guy at my high school was a League of Legends player. So, like, hardcore League player. So yeah, I just stay away from those games at all costs. Also, Blastoise Veteran asks, would I like to go fishing in 2025? And to that I say, hell yeah. Just hit me up anytime, man. Let's go fishing. SmashMax LP asks, where did the name StaticSquid come from? Why does it have 2 Ds instead of 1? What would happen if I added a 3rd D? Well, the name StaticSquid came from just a variation of other names I've had over the years. StaticSquid was just something I came up with when experimenting with names. I came up with the name DynaSquid, as in dynamic squid, and then one of my friends, as a joke, just said StaticSquid, and I was like, ooh, Ooh, I like that one. And it has 2Ds instead of 1 because when I was signing up for a Twitter account back in like 2018, I couldn't use the username eSquid as it was taken, and one of the auto-generated usernames that it would be like, try this one instead, was SquidSquid, the first squid having 1D, the second squid having 2Ds. And for some reason, I swapped those, and my username became SquidSquid, squid with 2Ds, and then squid with 1D. Then I thought that name was stupid, rightfully so, so I changed it to NintenSquid, but I still kept the second D at the end of the squid name. And then when I changed it to StaticSquid, I kept it. Like, I could have probably used 1D in StaticSquid, but, you know, I feel like the 2Ds caught on pretty well, so, yeah, that's why it has 2Ds. And you can't add a third D, or else I'll fucking kill you. Ray asks, what Yakuza games have you played, and what's your favorite? I've played 0, Kiwami, 3, Like a Dragon Ishin, and 7. And I think my favorite out of all of those is 0, rightfully so, but 3 is a little bit of a guilty pleasure game of mine because everyone says that is the worst Yakuza game, and I think it's perfectly fine. So, on the topic of guilty pleasure games, by pure coincidence, Lucas Lemlighten's question is next, and he asks, do you have a guilty pleasure game? If so, how often do you have to hide it from your loved ones? And my personal guilty pleasure game is not Yakuza 3, it's actually Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz for similar reasons. People just really hate this game. Not hate is a strong word, but people have a lot of issues with Super Monkey Ball. It's not as good as Monkey Ball 1 and 2, that's for sure. But I think it's a fine game. You know, the party games do get a bit annoying, and even though I loved them as a kid. But the biggest reason why Super Monkey Ball is my guilty pleasure game is because I just loved it so much as a kid, and I come back to it now, and I'm like, this is a fine game. What was everybody talking about? So yeah, that's probably my guilty pleasure game. Your boy Rock asks, are there any projects you've ended up scrapping mid-production, and if so, why did they get the axe? The biggest one is probably 4th console gen. That video was like halfway edited, and then I just canceled it because it was just not turning out the way I wanted it to go. But usually a lot of episodes get scrapped in very early stages of editing or in writing stages, and sometimes those ideas even get recycled. Like, I was originally going to do the annual release games episode in like 2022. Instead, I decided to do Big Rigs, which in of itself was a scrapped script from 2021, and then I reused the annual release game script in 2023, in April of 2023. So yeah, that was an episode that, there was a video about title screens that I scrapped during editing in 2022, but that eventually came out as the evolution of title screens. So I don't usually scrap a lot of episodes, but, you know, I will scrap them in writing phase if I'm not like too happy about them, and I'll probably reuse the idea later on. Teroticus asks, favorite video game soundtrack? My favorite video game soundtrack, I always say, is Yoshi's Island, because that, like, Jesus, that is a fun soundtrack to listen to. It's great music. It's one of my favorite soundtracks to put in videos and all of that. So yeah, that's probably my favorite video game soundtrack right there, Yoshi's Island. There's also Mega Man X, which has always been a personal favorite of mine, Mario RPG, and I know like my V1 video game soundtracks is very Nintendo focused, but that's just, you know, the most of what I have downloaded. My favorite non-Nintendo soundtrack might be Doom 2016. I really love the way that album is formatted. Like, holy shit. It is a great album to listen to. So yeah, that's probably my favorite non-Nintendo soundtrack right there. Also, he asks, do you like to eat ants? I think they are tasty. Me too, kid. Wyatt Went Wacko asks, do you have any games you replay every year, and if so, what are they? Short answer is no. Long answer is no, but I once did try to beat Doom Eternal every year, and that failed miserably because I think I touched it a little bit in 2022, and then I didn't. I beat the game on the Hurt Me Plenty difficulty back in 2020 when I first got the game. Then I beat it again on PC on Ultra Violence in 2021, and the plan was to beat it on Nightmare in 2022, and I never beat it on Nightmare. I don't think I have Doom Eternal installed on anything right now. I'm just kind of in a rut with that series. I'm not like really as passionate about Doom as I once was when I was like 15, 16. So, but if I had to replay a game every year, I'd probably want it to be like Mega Man X. I love that game so much, but I just haven't really beat it every single year of my life. So, last question. Pokey Dokey Panic asks, what's the hardest part of making content? The hardest part of making content is just kind of sticking with it, you know, you just kind of get to a certain point if you make stuff long enough or make enough of it where it's just like, do I want to keep doing this? Do I, like, want to keep pleasing the same fan base, or do I want to pivot and try to experiment? I certainly struggle with that a lot. If you look at a lot of my stuff, it's very indicative of another YouTuber. I think his name was Scratch or something. Scratch the Wizard. Yeah, a lot of that stuff is indicative of him, and I have tried to kind of like stray away from it. I think the most strides I've made with that is in my latest video, which is the Mario Wonder. I think I actually got a comment saying like, yeah, this feels like an evolution of your stuff, and I'm like, hell yeah. 2024 I'm gonna try to like pivot though, for sure, which is something I should have said earlier, but I didn't, and now it is the end of the video. Well, shit. Also, they ask, totally unrelated, but your favorite TV show. And this, my friends, is why I didn't say it yet. My favorite TV show of all time. So, Elias, what is your favorite TV show of all time? Like, God. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I kind of just have to, like, you know, sit on that one, you know? Like, God knows what my favorite TV show could only be, you know? I don't know. Like, seriously, it's just, you know, a boggle of the goddamn mind what my favorite TV show is. It's Cowboy Bebop. Without a doubt in my mind, it is Cowboy Bebop. I have never connected to a show more than that. Its soundtrack, its animation, everything about it is just absolutely phenomenal. I will love Cowboy Bebop to the end of the moon and back. It is a show I'm very passionate about. I'm very excited to rewatch it because I got this Blu-ray recently, and this is my favorite movie of all time, so woohoo. I love Cowboy Bebop, man. Oh shit, that's a bomb!